All right, today we're going to tear apart a title that's pretty much impossible to scroll past. Gold Trading, the Zero Capital Blueprint for 2026. Now, what does a title like this really mean? And more to the point, what are we supposed to make of a promise that big? Yep, this right here, this is the number that just grabs you. $0. We're always told it takes money to make money, but this flips that idea completely on its head. Starting something as big as gold trading with literally nothing, that's a powerful hook.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the $0 question in this case. Can you actually, for real, start trading gold with no capital? Is this some kind of game-changing new strategy? Or is there a catch? Let's find out.
Okay, let's dive right in and look at this thing for what it really is. An incredibly bold claim. A promise designed to catch the eye of anyone who's ever thought about getting into trading.
So just to be super clear, this is the exact title we're pulling from. Every single word in this sentence has been chosen for a reason, to attract a very specific person. And our job today is to figure out how it works so well.
All right, so let's actually deconstruct this thing. Because when you really look at each word, you start to see that it's not just a title, it's a carefully engineered piece of marketing.
Let's just focus on that one word for a second, blueprint. That word is doing some heavy lifting here. It's not just saying, here are some ideas or here are a few tips. No, it's promising you a roadmap, right? A detailed step-by-step plan that implies all the hard work and guesswork has already been done for you. All you have to do is follow along.
And this slide, this lays it out perfectly. You've got these 4 key ingredients that make the whole thing so compelling. First, you have the promise of zero capital. Boom, the biggest barrier to entry is gone. Then, the subject is gold trading, something that sounds stable and valuable. It's aimed right at beginners, which makes it feel accessible and not intimidating. And finally, that 2026 date makes it all sound fresh and futuristic.
Okay, now we get to the big one, the part everyone's really here for, that zero capital claim. This is where the slick promise has to meet the cold, hard reality of the markets.
And what's so powerful about this is how it just slams these two ideas against each other. You have the old way of doing things, which usually means you need a ton of cash just to get a seat at the table, and then you have this blueprint, promising to just erase that requirement completely. It's a total game changer, at least on paper.
So what could this zero capital thing actually be in the real world? Well, let's run through the possibilities. It could mean demo accounts where you trade with fake money. That's great for practice, for sure, but you're not going to earn a dime. Or it could be talking about prop firms, where you pay an evaluation fee to prove you can trade. If you pass, they fund you, but you risk losing that fee if you fail. Then there are things like no deposit bonuses from brokers, which sound great, but often come with crazy rules about how much you have to trade before you can withdraw anything. And finally, the riskiest path of all, high leverage. This is where a broker lends you money so you can control a huge position with a tiny amount of capital, or a bonus. Yeah, it can amplify your wins, but it can also magnify your losses and literally wipe you out in seconds. So you see, none of these options are truly free of risk or cost.
But what about that date, 2026? Why not just say a blueprint for right now? Well, there's a really smart, really subtle reason for that.
See, by dating it for the future, the creator is basically telling you, this isn't old news. This is cutting-edge stuff that's going to keep you ahead of the curve for years to come. It's not just a guide for today, it's a guide that gets you ready for tomorrow. It's a clever way to build anticipation and make the information feel incredibly valuable.
All right, so we've pulled apart the promise, the subject, the target audience, and the timeline. Let's put all these pieces back together and see what the big picture looks like.
So when you boil it all down, what is the $0 capital blueprint? It's a marketing hook, and a brilliant one at that. It's been perfectly engineered to tap right into the biggest hopes and the biggest fears of someone who wants to start trading. It zeroes in on their number one problem, not having enough money, and it wraps the solution in a package that feels safe, structured, and modern.
So at the end of the day, that leaves you with the big question, right? Is zero capital a real open door into the trading world for beginners? Or is it just a clever gimmick designed to pull you in while hiding the real risks? The answer, really, depends on what's behind the curtain. Is it a safe demo account for practice, a pay-to-play challenge, or a high-stakes bet with leverage? Figuring that out, well, that's the real first step to becoming a trader.